Welcome to End Groove with Alex Marrero. I'm happy to have here today with me the amazing Courtney Santana. Courtney is a singer-songwriter, vocalist, author, and founder of Sanctuary, a tech service that provides real-time access to emergency housing for people displaced due to domestic violence, disaster, or crisis. She's a wonderful human being, a great singer, and welcome.
Thank you. Well, thank you for having me.
Of course. It's great to see you.
It's great to see you.
You look lovely.
Thank you. So do you.
Thank you very much. Dun, dun, dun. Nobody understands what that means, but it's okay.
It's all right. We're going to have those moments.
We are. So, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Tell me about Massachusetts and your life.
Oh, man. Okay. Wow. Massachusetts and my life.
You didn't think I was going to start there, huh?
Man, I'm telling you, it's like the fourth smallest state in the union. That's where the Tea Party happened. You said tell you about Massachusetts. No, I'm from Massachusetts, and I've been here now, I guess. I think I've been here for more than half my life, so I guess I'm a Texan now.
Is it a little town in Massachusetts?
It is Springfield, Massachusetts.
Springfield, Mass.
Which most people know to be the Basketball Hall of Fame, like the home of that Basketball Hall
Most
of Fame.
people do.
Most. Well, it's so funny because they're like, oh, you're where I say I'm from Massachusetts. They go, oh, Boston. Because that's the only place that
That's
most
the
people.
go-to, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, no, there's a whole another part of the state. And I'm actually more New Yorker than I am, a masshole.
Why is that?
Because it's so close to the border. It's so close to the border of New York and Massachusetts. Where I live is in Western Mass.
So what was that like as a kid?
Oh, man, it was, all I remember were the blizzards. Like, I remember walking through snowdrifts that were taller than me, and we still had to go to school. One flake of snow lands here, and shut it down. Shut it down.
No.
We're not going outside.
As it should be.
No, I was literally right. I mean, I was 4 feet tall, and I was walking through these snowdrifts that my mom would shovel every morning to just get us out of the house.
Yeah.
So I miss it, but I don't miss the snow. I don't miss the blizzards, and I miss apple picking, and I miss Cape Cod. There's some really
because
cool
when it's
things.
not snowy and miserable, it's actually really pretty for about 2 weeks, right?
Right, for 7 days. Let's not get crazy. Let's not get crazy in here. Yeah, and the oysters are amazing. Every oyster in Texas is from Wellfleet, Mass, which is where I'm close to being.
So
from.
you would go as a teenager? Were you still there as a teenager? Would you go to New York as a teenager?
Mm-hmm.
What was that like?
Oh, I loved it. My mom was big into theater. So we would go and see like Fiddler on the Roof and Pearly on Broadway. We would go to all the shows, and then within 3 hours, we were back home.
And what was that like for you? Did that open up some inspirational doors to go into singing and music? I'm guessing.
Yes. So actually, I was raised a dancer. I don't know if you knew that.
I did not know that. That's why you're here. There's a lot of things that I don't know about you, and many people don't know.
Let's dig around a little bit. Yeah, my mother, I started in dance, and I used to dance with a dance company.
Like tap, ballet,
all of
it?
those. But yeah, I would do ballet, contemporary tap, and my dance company was in New York. So I spent a lot of time in New York. I loved it there.
Any siblings?
I have a lot of half siblings.
Okay.
I'm the only child of my parents.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but I have my dad had an older set, which is like 20 years older than me. So I have nephews and nieces that are older than me. It's weird. And then at my dad's funeral, we found out that I had a whole Puerto Rican family.
Interesting.
Because they came to the funeral and they were like, "Oh, this is our father," and I was like, "Mine too." So I found out that I have a sister that's 20 years younger than me.
Wow. And do y'all keep in touch?
We do.
That's cool. What was the most impactful thing about going to New York as a kid or teenager?
I mean, it's kind of the same thing that it is now. I mean, every time I go there, it's just electric, You can walk for hours and not feel like it.
Totally.
There's always something to see. There's always new people to see.
New smells to discover.
They can hold on some of them smells. I'm good with some of those smells. Yeah, new smells. Yeah, new things always. It's just, I felt like I was just in this big, big place where there was infinite opportunities. There was infinite things to discover, and I didn't think I would ever live there, but I loved visiting.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't think I could ever live in New York.
Mm-mm.
So when and how do you end up in Austin?
So my mom got a divorce when I was just before I went to high school, and I ended up in Houston. And I went to Cypher High School. Bobcat Fight Never Dies. God. It ended up in Houston. I went to Sci-Fair, and then I ended up at UT.
What did you study?
I started government and psychology, and ended up staying. I wanted to go to law school here at UT.
How do those two connect? Like, is there sort of a government psychology course?
No, there isn't. Obviously, if there were more politicians that knew about how our brain works, maybe we wouldn't be in the circumstance.
Or maybe they do know.
Maybe they do know, and that's why we're here.
Yeah.
But yeah, they don't connect at all.
So you landed in Austin for college.
Yes. Yeah,
And,
I went from Houston to here.
From Houston to here.
Mm-hmm.
And how does music in Austin start for you?
Okay,
before we do that, because
Yeah.
we have another connection from back in the day.
Back in the day, man. Yeah, you got to hit that one before we hit music, actually.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah.
Because it was, well, so you and I both worked at an advertising agency here in town called GSD&M.
Yes.
And you were always really rude to me there.
Oh my gosh, really? Are we going to do this, Alex? Are we doing this today, Alex? No. Oh my gosh.
You were not. You were not. I'm totally messing with you.
Every time you saw me, I probably looked like a crazy person running around trying to not die.
That I do remember.
Well, there it is. That was exactly how you saw me.
So you end up, how do you end up with a career, with a school track like that?
Mm-hmm.
How do you end up at GSD&M?
Well,
And what were you doing there?
Exactly. Okay.
Not like literally, like not figuratively.
Dying. I already established I was dying while I was there. No, it was GSD&M was like the opening, but
It's right there too.
I know it's right around the corner, but I have to say I have so many opinions about what GSD&M was like.
Yeah, but
now.
that's not why we're here.
Right, exactly.
It's just a little touchstone.
It is. Touch.
It was a good touchstone.
Yes, a great one because a lot of connections, including you.
Yeah.
Who apparently I was rude to.
You weren't.
Well, no, I started. So a friend of mine told me that Public Strategies, which is another advocacy firm, was hiring. And so I went from school, like I got an internship there, and then I found out about GSD&M, and I decided I wanted to go into business development and start looking at that. And I worked at GSD&M under JB Raptis for about 2 years.
While you were in GSD&M, were you already involved in music, or was it just like a personal passion that you would, at home and such?
It was more a personal passion, but actually my music career didn't start until after my theater career started. So while I was at UT, I was with the university singers. I was a Longhorn singer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And they had a bunch of little...
What does that mean?
Well, they had like a choir. So they have like the Longhorn band.
Do you wear those like uniforms?
No.
Oh, I don't know. When it comes to sports and stuff of that, like, I don't know anything about that stuff. So I'm picturing like, what are those male cheerleader outfits?
No.
That's what came to mind when you said
You'd
that.
like it if I was wearing that male cheerleader outfit.
No, I was thinking of the guys ones, which are like white and with
the burnt orange.
Because if you're singing, just to show you how my mind works.
Exactly.
And how little I know about any of this.
It's like, let me just start talking about things and hopefully one of these will make sense. But yeah, no, it was a university group and there was like 100 of us. It was not nearly as big as a Longhorn band, but we would come to all the shows and sing the anthem and sing at the games and stuff like that.
Other than the anthem, what would you sing?
March Grandioso. Do you know what March Grandioso is?
I have no idea, Courtney.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay, that's the song that UT plays. It's not the Eyes of Texas. It's the other fight song. And we had to learn it vocally. So like each part, the soprano, alto, tenor, bass, had to learn a different part of the song and sing it at the same time. But yeah, so I did community theater here at Zach Scott first before I started doing live music.
Oh yeah, so that's how another connection,
Yes.
Craig Brock.
Yes.
Hey, Craig Brock, he's probably not watching
Hey, Craig
this.
Brock. Hey, what's going on? Yeah, that's how I started here. It was at Zach, and then these guys were like, hey, we're going to get in this band. We're going to start this band. You want to be in a band? And I was like, I've never been in a band. Well, we need a chick singer. Can you be in a band? So
that's how they came. That was their pitch.
That's literally their.
We're going to be in the band.
You want to be?
Do you want to be the chick in the band?
Exactly. You want to be the chick singer. You're cute. You could do it. I was like, okay, cool. And then here I am 20 years later, still singing.
Still the chick in the band.
Still the chick in the band, but the chick.
You're
The chick.
Yeah, you're the boss lady.
That's right. That's right.
So
That's
what are
right.
your
HBIC.
experiences like in musical theater? What did you extract from that as a singer and as a performer?
Well, it's funny because when I started with Dreamgirls, I was dancing and they were like, "Can you sing?" And I said, "Just a little bit. I don't really think that singing is my thing," which is funny. So I was dancing and I was singing.
That is funny.
Isn't
the
that funny?
limitations we place upon ourselves.
Right.
Right.
I was just like, when I was singing at the university, it was because I needed a credit. I wasn't doing it because I was passionate about choir.
You did it for the
choral
outfit.
Singing. Yeah, I really wanted to wear that male cheerleader outfit. So I was like, I'm in. Where is it? So no, that was not my drive, but I ended up singing with a theater, and they were like, "Oh, now we're doing this show. Do you want to do this show?" Sure. And I did like 5 or 6 shows at Zach. I did Rent there. I did Pearly there. I did a bunch of shows at Zach.
That's really fun.
Mm-hmm.
So since you weren't a singer in your mind,
Right.
and you end up in a situation where, well, I'm assuming that UT experience with so many singers,
Yeah.
there's probably a lot of unisons, but there's also a lot of harmony.
There's a lot of harmony.
So was that your first foray into harmonies?
That's funny, Alex. I don't think I've ever thought about it like that, but that March Grandiosa song taught me how to blend and do harmonies.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't even think about it because it wasn't a theory class. We went in there and just sang songs. It wasn't like they were teaching me musical theory there.
No, they expected you to sing harmonies on the spot.
On the spot. Get on it.
Yeah.
And actually sight read this music. I didn't do any of the other stuff. Like no UIL was a thing for kids coming up through
UIL?
yeah, the competition, like when you're in theater.
What does that
and
stand
band.
for?
Oh my, Universal International League. I don't know what it stands for. I mean, it was the thing that it was like the.
I ask because I'm terrible with acronyms.
Well, me too.
And
I have
people
no
always
idea what UIL
throw these
stands
out
for.
like they're just known, and I'm like, LOL.
The look on
Lots
your
of
face,
love.
you were like, UIL. Can you use it in a sentence? They just have those competitions for these children all the way through high school where you go and you compete to be like first chair or second
Oh, okay.
chair.
That makes sense.
And it's called UIL. And I never did that. I just came in and started singing.
So back to my initial kind of premise, like harmony, because harmony singing, I know it was challenging for me
Yeah.
when I was first getting going, because I'm also kind of ear trained and self-taught.
Right.
Did you land at Zach Scott and they're like, okay, no, you need to do a minor third,
Right.
and you just landed it?
I think I just naturally have it. It's weird. I don't, like you said, we're self-taught. I learn by ear, and it's just probably one of my gifts because I can just do it. And all of these experiences, singing with two dudes with that band, I had to learn how to harmonize in between
And
them.
be right in the middle, yeah.
Right. And I wasn't above them because then it would have sounded weird. So I was always harmonizing with them. But I think that all these little happenstance opportunities to learn harmony is the way I did it.
That's awesome.
I never thought about that. Thank you, because that's exactly how I learned.
That's cool. Yeah, I mean, it's always it's a theme in a lot of these podcasts because I believe firmly in it,
Yes.
which is learning by doing.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. And sometimes we don't even realize. Sometimes it's a challenge and you're very aware
Yeah.
of the learning process while you're doing.
Yeah.
And sometimes like now you're like,
Yeah.
oh, I didn't even realize that. But that's
Right.
exactly where that came from,
Yeah.
along with whatever my innate natural gift
Yeah.
was.
Right. It's a blessing to be able to have those natural gifts that you don't have to learn from a book, because I don't think I could have learned it from a book.
That's funny, right?
Yeah. I don't know. This dyslexia is probably not going to let me learn anything from a book like that. So.
Well, not with that attitude.
Well, of course not. Of course not.
So
No.
staying on harmonies,
Yes.
you end up also as a background singer for all sorts of interesting projects.
Yes.
You go from Zach Scott to with all these kind of performances. Suddenly, you're a backup singer for who?
I started singing with the Atlantics. So remember the band, the Ugly Americans?
Of course,
Okay, so
they're
whenever
precursor to the Scabs
Right.
and Bob Schneider.
and Bob Schneider, yes. So whenever they would go out of town with the Ugly Americans, they were making money here doing weddings and parties. So they started this band called the Atlantic Soul Review. And I was in that band, the second iteration of that band. And that's where I learned all the harmonies.
Was
and
that
all
with
this stuff.
Schniz
and Dave Boyle and Sean McCarthy.
Bruce Hughes?
Bruce Hughes.
Wow, so it was that band.
It was that band. But then when they would go out of town, like Vallejo would step in and be our backing band. So that's how I met all of those guys. It's like it's like this big, fraternity of these bands came up at the same time.
Yeah. Early 90s.
Early 90s. So and Steamboat days, right?
Totally.
So every Monday we would play after Sister Seven, and that's how I met Patrice. And I feel
who was little sister at the time.
Yes. And I feel very fortunate that I came up in that particular time in Austin.
It was a cool time. I came in kind of a little bit. I moved here in 94.
Okay, yeah.
But I had been visiting, and that's part of what drew me here.
Yeah.
I remember going to Steamboat and as underage with like a fake ID with a brother, and
little Alex breaking the law.
Yeah, totally. I remember being drunk at the Yellow Rose, being 15. I'm like, all right.
Wait, this took a turn.
This is awesome.
How did it go from listening to music to being under Dang Nelly?
Again, it's just like sneaking into Steamboat and sneaking into the Yellow Rose at 15. It's connected in my mind. Back to the point at hand.
I was just here.
Swift diversion to nothingness.
That's how it happens.
So you end up with the Atlantics?
Yes.
Or the Atlantic Soul Review?
Atlantic Soul Review.
And then
when we separated from that band, we became the Atlantics, and I was in that band for 10 years. It was a cover band, and we did a lot of weddings and a lot of parties. We were like the cover band for a while. Like,
I mean, that'll get your chops up.
You know what I mean?
And burn you out for sure.
3 hours of just singing. I thought at one point, I remember being at this wedding and I was singing Chain of Fools, and like a little tear formed in my eye.
I don't think I can do this anymore. Please let this be over.
I mean, every week I was like, what is a cake going to taste like? Like, if it's shitty cake, I'm going to have a shitty show. But it was it was a good learning experience. Like you said, you get your chops. You're doing it every weekend. Every weekend, there's a movie. And I won't go down that path, but this cop would get an envelope and it had money in it, and he would feed the hole. So that's what I called it, feeding the hole.
Sure.
Every week for 10 years. And I was having children. So it was a good financial decision. But after a while, I just got kind of tired of rubber chicken dinners and being on the road every weekend. So I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to try some other things.
It teaches you what you don't want to do at some point. I'm just curious about your other background. So you leave a cover band situation.
Yes.
So do you end up in original background singer mode much later?
Yes, much later. So I started singing. Who was the first group? Oh, Nakia. I started singing backgrounds for him.
Oh, wow.
And Ginger Lee. And then I started singing for, there were several groups that came into town. I sang backgrounds for Music Soul Child and Salt and Pepper at the Belmont one time. Like I just started to be the background singer for a lot of different projects that would come in and out of town.
That's cool.
And
That's a fun place to be.
It is fun because it's always different. It's always different. And then I started singing backgrounds for different studio acts and doing more studio work. And then I became that person.
That's cool.
Yeah. And then ended up, I was singing backgrounds for Tomar and the FCs with Shuri. And we were doing some show. I think it was a record release show. And Kevin Russell walked into the room. And he was just like, hey, I need somebody to go on tour with me for 2 weeks. Can you do it? And I was like, yeah. And I started with Shiny Ribs.
And that lasted for
4 years.
Wow.
4 years on tour with them. And I was dealing with some health issues with my mom, and my life was getting hectic with my company. So the schedule just didn't work. It was just terrible. It just didn't work out that I could stay with Shiny Ribs. So I started singing backgrounds with Jesse Dayton. I got to be on those Outlaw cruises, and that's where I met Jesse.
So that leads us into this new record, which is your first solo album.
Yes.
Tell me about how, I mean, you kind of described the convergence there, right?
Yeah.
Jesse is the connection to the label.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about that, how this record came about.
So
living through it all.
I met Jesse on the Outlaw cruise when I was on there with Shiny Ribs. And I liked his music, and I was like, you know what, Courtney, what would it be like if you sang country and Americana music. What would this be like if you were actually in this world as yourself? And I talked to Jesse at like the second cruise I went on with him, and I was like, I want to do this. Like, this is something I feel like I could actually do. And I gave him a demo of a song that I had written. And I said, here, listen to this and tell me what you think. And he came back and he goes, hey, I just pitched this to the label and they love it and they want to sign you under my imprint. And I was like, okay, cool. He goes, I'll produce your album. But right now I'm super crazy busy. And that was like 3 years ago. So he finally, I guess last summer, got here and had a few weeks and we got Living Through It All done. But we had been writing some of those songs when he had have breaks from being on the road and from the movie.
Did it happen here or in Nashville or both?
Here and in Nashville, it was a mix of the two. And like when we weren't in town together, we would Zoom call writing sessions and stuff like that. So it was like, when do we have time? You know? But we got into the studio and some of the songs we wrote in the studio because it was, time was super limited. But now Living Through It All came out of that. And it's just a culmination of what I feel is my lived experience. Life is shitty sometimes and you just have to get through it. So
yeah, life is shitty most of the time with little sprinkles of greatness here and there.
Little sprinkles.
Yeah,
I love a sprinkle.
I mean, it's all growth, unfortunately.
Yes.
Right. We're pushing forward, and pain, unfortunately. I mean, it's true, isn't it? I mean, life is beautiful and life is magical.
Yes.
But without struggle and unfortunate circumstances, it's what makes us who we are. Not that I welcome those things, especially just, terrible things that happen to so many people, right?
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting. When I met you, I was actually in what has brought this all together was my experience with domestic violence. And actually, I was dealing with some of that when you and I were at GSD&M together. Which is crazy. Like you wouldn't even know it, because I was just in the hustle of it all. But
that's kind of how it happens for most people. Mm-hmm. And that's that grace thing that you hear about, right? Yeah. Like you don't know what people are struggling with at any given time because it's not seen.
No, it's not. I've got a good story to tell you. I don't know if I'm going to have time, but you have to treat people with grace and give them a lot of, support because you don't know what they're dealing with. You don't, yeah. I would leave work and I would go home and sleep in my car and nobody knew it. Nobody knew it, But now look at where we are right now. I get to write songs about my experience with the hopes that somebody's going to hear it and say, she's just like me. I can do it too.
Absolutely.
And I've started, a tech company. I don't think I'm extraordinary. I just think I was provided a very specific set of circumstances that put me in a position to do something pretty special. So now I can support people with the things that I do well.
So let's touch upon what I think is a really valuable part of what you do. I respect it tremendously. Tell me about Sanctuary.
Sanctuary came to be because my kids and I live behind a Walmart. That's what this is. When I ran from my abuser, he came to my house because I was still in love with him. And we were talking and he was just like, I was in jail because he was in jail for a domestic violence charge for me. He was in there for 6 months. And I felt guilt. I felt terrible. I had put him in jail. It was just terrible. So when he came out, I was like, come over. I'll make dinner for you. We'll talk. And we were talking and he was telling me all the things I needed to hear. And I was still in the cycle of abuse, even though I felt like I was out.
Sure.
I was gonna love him enough that it was never gonna happen again. So we're sitting there talking and he had his coat on and he took his coat off because he was gonna stay for dinner and he went to the bathroom for some reason. I picked up his coat and a gun fell out. And there were so many circumstances that day, Alex, that helped me to get out of the house. My car was out in the driveway. It was never out in the driveway. But today, for some reason, I left it outside. My daughter came out. Maybe she heard the gun hit the floor. I don't know. But my son was crying loud enough for me to open the front door. We slid out. I drove down the street with the lights out. And I left everything that I owned that day. Wow. And I called the local shelter because I called police first. And then I called the shelter. They said, call the shelter. And much like right now, the shelters were full. And they said, we'll call back tomorrow. Keep calling. And that first night I went and I stayed with a friend. And they went back the next day and he had shot holes in walls. He had broken every mirror in the house, drank every bit of alcohol that was in the house. He just destroyed it. He took half of my things, burned things. It was bad. And I was like, thank God, because I mean, that could have
ended horribly.
Horribly, my kids, me. So finally, a friend of mine said, hey, you can go to the shelter. Just go there and tell them what you're dealing with. And I did an intake, and they said, just keep calling back. We may have a room available in a week or so. And I was like, a week or so?
Yeah.
I don't have any money. He took everything out of the account. I have nothing. And they were like, do you have any friends? Can you do this? And I said, I can't miss work. Like, yeah. I was thinking of all these things. So when I was at the shelter, this lady said, hey, there's a place behind Walmart that you can go off of 183 in Renberg. You can go and stay. And I was like, oh, okay. Here I'm thinking it's another shelter. No, it was literally behind the Moats section at the Walmart. And there were 8 other women there in their cars with jobs and kids. So we were taking care of each other's kids. We were buying groceries for each other. We were watching each other's kids. We were we had formed a community out of this situation. And one day, one of the girls was like, hey, the cops are coming because we're trespassing and they're going to arrest us. And then when they arrest you, and of course, there's a lot of miseducation when you're dealing with people who don't know.
Of course.
So they're going to take your kids. And I was just like, oh my God, I have nowhere to go because I can't tell people what's going on with me. And ironically, my mom, who's a therapist, was working at the Houston Area Women's Center, which is the shelter in Houston. And I didn't want to even tell her because I was ashamed of what my life was. So when it got down to me and 2 other women, and the cops, sure enough, showed up, knocked on my window, and they were like, you can't be here. And I was like, oh, I get out, I take Brendan, I hand Brendan to one of the cops, and by this point, I'm in absolute tears.
Yeah,
like,
you broke down.
Yeah, I said, they're going to take my kids. And I was like, where are you taking them? Can I see them? They're like, we're not taking your kids. And I said, well, what do we do? We're going to take you to the shelter. And they took me to Safe Place.
Oh, wow.
And I guess because I had a police escort, I got in. And I stayed there for 3 months, and I was a miserable bitch the entire time. I was so pissed. I'd lost my job. I lost my apartment. They had evicted me. It was terrible. My whole life was just going to hell because I didn't have enough money to get into another place.
Yeah. And it becomes that cycle that's so hard to get out of.
It is. It's as Alan Graham with Mobile Loaves and Fishes puts it, it's a catastrophic loss of network.
Yeah.
You don't have anything or anybody because, I mean, to get back on your feet, it's just a massive amount of effort and work.
And if you don't have an address, there's a lot of things you can't do.
Honey, you have to have an address. You can't get a new address without an old address.
Yep.
You can't get a job. You can't even pay your bills.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? Once I get out of here, this is what I'm doing for the rest of my life. I'm going to help people who can't get in here find a way. And that's where Sanctuary started.
So how does Sanctuary work? Because it's a software.
Yes. It's a tech platform that basically has built alternate spaces for people who can't get into shelter. So if you go to the shelter and it's not available, they can point you to one of my hotel partners, and you at no charge can stay there for up to 20 days.
Is this an app?
Yeah, it's a web platform. It's a SaaS. No, don't ask me what a SaaS means. I'm not the technological person, but you can access it online.
And what's the web address?
Well, this is the thing. It's not available to the public. We make it available to like first responders and to the hotline.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it's a connector.
Right.
I think it's software service platform. Is that what you're looking for?
Thank you. Yeah, software and service platform.
Software as service platform.
Yes. Yeah, there's so many touch points. There's hospitals, there's law enforcement, there's the hotline. And most people, if you look up domestic violence, the hotline pops up.
Sure.
So we're working on this agreement. So we're the next step for you to
be
get
first in line to help.
Yes. And we've built this hotel safety net across the country where we've trained hotels to house our people. Because I told the hotels, I said, listen, they're coming to the hotels anyway.
Exactly.
If you have enough money, you can get into a hotel for a week. That's where you're going.
Absolutely.
So now let's make it a partnership where they feel welcome. They feel like they're safe. And I will train your staff to be able to be safe as well.
Especially long stay places.
Right. Yes. And that's exactly who we're partnering with. It's extended stay. So The normalcy of being able to cook your own food and wash your own clothes is totally underrated, and people don't understand how important it is. That was the hardest thing I had to do, Alex, was to figure out how to cook for myself in my car or how to wash my clothes every week. It was a
how to take
hardship.
a shower, how to bathe your kids,
That's
like
it.
all the things that we take for granted.
Yes,
like
yes. Thank
suddenly,
you, Planet Fitness, for letting me come in there and take a shower
yeah,
and wash my kids. Because otherwise I wouldn't have had a place to put them or a place to do that and go to work and act like everything's fine.
Everything's fine.
Yep. Everything wasn't fine.
No.
So now you can look on my app. We're actually building it out. We've got some other services that we'll be able to provide, but primarily it is to get someone into a safe space within a day, which sometimes that can take weeks because your abuser knows everywhere you go.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
So the key word here, if someone is communicating with either the police or a shelter, sanctuary.
Sanctuary
is the service.
Yes. Yes.
That's.
And hopefully in a year we'll be national. So that's my goal. That's why I said music is so important. I want to talk about this because it feels like I can use the music to create this conversation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you're here and talking about that. I think it's a remarkable thing.
Yeah.
So what is next for Courtney Santana in 2026, 2027?
Oh.
So you got a band, right? Like you've been out on the road here and there doing little gigs?
Yes, I've been out. I just finished being in Mexico. I did a gig in London with my friend Christian Kane. We did a show at the O2 Academy there, which was amazing.
Nice.
Yeah, the Brits love me, and I'm like, yeah, I want to come back. Yeah, invite me over across the pond whenever you want. I'm in Mexico a lot. I love being down in Todos Santos. I'm there a bunch, and I'm just gonna keep going back and forth between here and Nashville. I'm writing. I'm almost 85% done with a bunch of songs that I would like to put together to make another album.
Great.
I'm going in next week to record most of the overdubs and the rest of those tracks at Marcus King Studio.
Oh, cool.
In Nashville, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
And then once that's done, I'm going to do a little bit of touring here and there. And hopefully next year, my Living Through It All tour will be on the road. I want to talk a little bit about that because
please.
I'm targeting 10 cities where I feel like domestic violence and the unhoused homelessness situation is out of control, and have some conversations during the day about that particular subject, and like have some roundtable discussions with stakeholders in the city and say, hey, I'm coming so I can have a fundraiser for you tonight so that you can use the software for a year.
Awareness and education, fundamental.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Outreach.
That's great.
So, because I think that a lot of times people think people go to the shelter and they're in.
Right. No.
There are only so many beds, right?
Yeah.
And your shelter is doing everything they possibly can to support, right?
Absolutely.
But this is an additional resource they can use. So in those 10 cities, I'm going to have some real conversations during the day and at night. We're going to raise money for the local shelter to be able to use our software for a year.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And then by the end of the year, we'll have some really interesting data and some information that we can use to make it even more expansive and more impactful. So
I love that.
Living Through It All 2027.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great.
Yeah, 10 cities. I mean, it's going to be interesting. I'm going to do it over 10 months, and we'll see what happens.
Good things are going to happen.
Thank you, friend. I think so. I think so. Yeah. I mean, well, God doesn't waste pain, right? All of this matters. All of this. It's a culmination of all the things, and I'm very thankful that it's so well defined. And
you manifest, and you have been manifesting, so there's no reason for that not to continue.
Yeah,
in a beautiful way, like you have.
Thank you.
So congratulations, and I look forward to more growth on that. And if there's anything I can help with, please let me know. Oh,
Marrero, yeah, I'll be on my way. You've been so kind and so wonderful anyway, and I appreciate it.
No.
It feels good to be able to sing and do this stuff. Like I want another survivor to say, well, I can do an album.
Yes.
I can write. I can journal. I was telling somebody the other day, I wrote 200 songs while I was in the shelter every day. They're not fully fleshed out songs, but they're just my thoughts, you know?
Yeah.
I guess it was journaling, but then I looked back and I wrote songs. And now I'm going back and I'm like, some of that music can come out now because I want somebody to hear it.
And what a great resource to share with other people living that life that may not think of that immediately. Just write what you're feeling.
Right.
Just write what you're feeling.
Right.
See what happens.
Yeah.
Because it will be cathartic.
It will be cathartic. You're getting it out. You can't hold it in. And then definitely, I had some cathartic experiences. I'm gonna write a song called the Cracked Pink Couch. Like the shelter has all the donations from people.
Sure.
And typically they're not always like you're not gonna get this beautiful
no.
couch. You're gonna get some worn couch. So I used to sit on that couch. I didn't know where my kids were. I was just miserable. It was terrible. And this lady named Miss Ida came up to me and she goes, "All right, you need to get up off the couch and stop being, this miserable person, because there was more than one bullet in that gun. Think about that."
Mm-hmm.
And think about how this is a second opportunity, to live this life. And that's when I started writing on that cracked pink couch. And so I think those songs will come out either as a book, a poetry book or something. They have to meet the world somehow.
Well, you already put out a book, right?
I did. Yeah. I wrote a book. It feels like years and years ago. It was almost 10 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, called Off Kilter. Just talking about different women. I interviewed close to 75 women, and I put 12 stories in a book about the different faces of abuse.
Wow.
Because I don't think we talk about abuse as thoroughly as we should. Mental abuse is just as bad as physical abuse.
Certainly.
There's all sorts of ways that people can control you, and the power and control cycle can continue. So I want people to see it and be like, "Oh, that's me, and here's the steps I can take to get out of it."
There's a solution.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even identifying that you have a problem.
Right. It's like, "Oh, he doesn't hit me.
Right.
Oh, but he calls me a stupid bitch every day. Or he criticizes everything that I do. Or he minimizes, or he controls me with money." Like, or she. I don't want to say he, because it is definitely cross-gender.
Sure.
And I want people to see that. And I've included that in the book. I mean, from LGBTQA+2. I want people to understand the full face of abuse and what it looks like. So.
Well, Courtney.
I'm doing too much.
No such thing, because it's things that are meaningful and worthy and that are giving back, and you're trying to break cycles.
Thank you. I feel like that's my purpose.
Important. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just curious about some of your musical process.
Yeah.
Like, do you play an instrument?
I am trying to learn the electric guitar right now, and I'm taking some lessons, but I don't play out in front of people.
Like, how do you write? What's your tool for writing?
My tool for writing is the piano. Like, I can feel out some things. I can't play in front of anybody, but my voice and my brain, honestly, when I think of a song, it comes to me almost completely formed. So if I sing a verse, I can hear the hook, I can hear a pre-chorus, I can hear the chorus, I can hear all of it. And most of the time I'll just sing it into my phone, and then I feel my way around it.
Well, that's cool. And it's funny, most people, or a lot of people, don't know that, for example, Michael Jackson worked that way. Michael Jackson couldn't play an instrument.
Right.
He would just record the parts.
Right.
Like, this is what the drums are doing.
Yes.
This is what the bass is doing.
This is what I hear.
He would build these with these little tape recorders.
Yes.
So, music is amazing that way. It comes to us in many different ways, right?
Well, when I talk to my musician friends, and they're just like, "So what do you think about this?" And they talk to me in musical language. Oh, Dave Manley used to speak to me in numbers, and I was like, "Dude, for real? Like, I don't know what a 1, 2, 4, 7 is."
Right.
So we're not doing that today. That's math. Nope, failed that. Don't want to do that. But
not today. Maybe in about 8 years. Maybe
80 years, dude. I'm not even trying. I just hear it that way. And so then I tell my musical friends to help me interpret. And that's probably the best part of it, is the collaboration part.
Sure.
Getting in a room and getting all up in it, and hearing what other people hear based on my thoughts. One of my favorite songwriting partners is Michael Stevens, a bass player here in town.
Okay.
That dude, because he's looking at it from so many cultural aspects. Like, he's looking at Afro-Cubano. He's looking at it from different ways.
Sure.
And we wrote a beautiful song, and I'm just like, wow, my words turned into this beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Unexpectedly, which is fun. Isn't that what the music is supposed to be about?
That's what it's about. Are you real precious with ideas, or are you pretty open?
I'm not precious with anything. I feel like my life experience has said, girl, please. Yeah. There's not one thing you can hold on to, because none of it is yours. It's all energy. You just put it back out there with your touch on it. Sprinkles.
So one more thing about all that. So what is
Sure.
the experience for being a Black woman navigating the Nashville
Ooh, honey.
scene?
Well, it's interesting when I go to
I mean, I'm not
Nashville-
trying to, dig up dirt or anything. I'm just
No.
genuinely curious what that experience is like, because it's a
No.
very different world.
Very much
And it's
so.
not like there's a lot of, cross-pollination culturally.
No, not at all. And it's interesting because when I said I want to dive and dip my toe in the Americana country space, I wanted to see what it was like because I had done Americana Fest with Jesse and with Shiny Rips. I'm always in these venues
Sure.
where I'm probably the only Black person.
Right.
I mean, I'm not even being funny about that.
No, I didn't think it was a joke.
He's like, no, for real. I as a person of color, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I mean,
you walk
it's
into
just
these
the way it
places.
is. Yeah.
When I was talking to Bobby earlier, I was just like, I've been in venues where I had to drop a pin because I was like, ooh, this is a little sketch. At
Yeah.
first they were like, why are you here? And then by the time I leave, they're like, oh, Courtney, lifting me around and stuff because I guess I earned my worth in these spaces. But I wanted to know more and I wanted to see what that was actually like. So I started venturing and journeying to Nashville to see if I could build something. They've got this thing called the Black Opry there that I feel like that's
The Black Opry?
yeah. I have an opinion, but I feel like
That just sounds, that sounds weird. I've never heard of it, so I'm
It's
just curious.
very
I'm not
weird.
trying to pass judgment. It just seems like, there's the grand old and then there's the black one.
and there's the Black one.
There seems a little
It feels-
segregationally error-y.
Okay, we're going there. I felt like it was a concession. I feel like they said, "Oh, we'll let some Black people at the Grand Ole Opry, but here, why don't we just give you your own, and you guys do what you do over there." And I was looking into it because I wanted to be a part of it. And friends of mine that I met doing music on the Outlaw Country Cruise that are integrated into that other world were like, "Don't do it. Don't do it because it's not genuine. And what you're creating, we don't want it to get lost in the sauce of that."
Right.
When you get to be on the Grand Ole Opry stage because you're the talent and the charisma to be there, sing your music.
Yeah.
So I started going back and forth between Austin and Nashville, really trying to make the connections and the network with genuine people who are really going to allow me to be a Black woman in Americana and country
Sure.
and sing it with the soul and sing it with the thing that I got that is a little bit different. So I've just never gotten... I am more with the white congregation over there than I am with the Black because it doesn't feel genuine to me. I maybe there will be, and there are a lot of people like Allison Russell and a lot of folks who have definitely made inroads for me that I can step in their little footsteps and try to continue to do that.
It's a bit of a tricky thing. I always try and play devil's advocate with things
Sure.
and look at multiple angles of things, and it can be a tricky thing
Mhm.
because cultural spaces do exist
Right,
and they are important,
right.
but not if they are meant to
Segregate,
separate and
right.
segregate, right? Because there's probably not a lot of cross-pollination in these two scenes.
No.
And it's not like there's a whole bunch of people from Manhattan going to,
No.
Harlem and the Apollo,
Right.
right?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's not that, I don't know what I'm getting at. I guess I'm just trying to look at different sides of it because there are times where
Yeah.
the crowds just don't connect,
Right.
and that's okay.
Right. It's like,
But this doesn't quite sound like that.
no,
Okay.
it feels like, because like my friend Devin, he is killing it right now and he's created his own lane. I was talking to Scott Strickland about this the other day. I was like, honestly, we're going to have to create spaces. That's just it. You can't assume that they're going to create a space for you. So you make your own.
Oh, actually, I'll take that a step further.
Yeah.
Assume that they will not create a space for you.
Right. Assume it. Always.
Assume that the door is closed
Right. Yeah.
because it's
Yeah.
not an assumption.
Right. If it happens to be open, great. But if it's not,
Sometimes it's just a little crack and someone's peeking through. And if you can connect, if you can hey, no, check this out. Really? No, really. Oh, is that so-and-so in there?
Mike.
Yo.
Mike.
Over here, tell him I can come in.
Mike, come in. That's my friend. Yeah. No, but you're absolutely right. It's like there has to be that person who kind of kicks the door in for people behind, you know? And I mean, I was just talking to Bobby about it. I was like, there's so many kids that are TikTok famous and don't really know how to perform. If you were to take them out on tour in these spaces, they would, I mean.
Well, that's a whole other conversation.
We'll come back.
That's like a whole other episode.
Yes, it is. And I would love to talk about it.
Now you're talking about like what the music world looks like,
right?
What the music industry is and what it isn't. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if I've said this before or not. I don't think anyone knows what it is right now. People are just making shit up, throwing it at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Exactly.
And it's like, oh, TikTok is working for us.
That's crazy.
I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't understand it. It's
either.
not really for me, I don't think.
No.
Not anymore. Not in that way. And that's okay.
Bring me back, Alex, so we can talk about it, because I can't. I mean, it's not a matter of age. It's not a matter of wanting or desire to understand. I just don't.
Well, but it is a matter of age as well.
Yeah.
It's hard to ignore that. And that's okay.
I'm a young woman.
That's okay. That doesn't mean we're old.
No.
It just means that it's like it was when we were growing up.
Right.
You know, the last thing is it moves on.
Yeah.
And the new generations are like, yeah, fuck that.
Yeah. What?
And that's what we want.
Yes.
As long as it has a foundation that's, strong. If there's no foundation, then what is being said? Like, you can ignore the past all you want and trying to push something forward.
Sure.
But if you don't have anything of substance, then what are we talking about?
Right. It's just going to fall through. Right. I mean, the things that are meant to stick.
Yeah.
I mean, I sing Proud Mary all the time. How old is that song? At least 60 years
60 years old, more or less?
Yeah. I mean, I was just in Muscle Shoals. I went into the studio and saw the Whirly, where Aretha sat down and wrote, I've never met a man or loved a man as much as I love.
Wow.
It still exists,
Yeah.
I had a spiritual moment in that room, because I was just like, real music was made here. So,
and that's like a box house in the middle of nowhere.
It is. I was shocked. I was like
you hear about Muscle Shoals and you imagine this thing and you're like, then you're like, wow. It's like a cement box with magic in it.
It's a magic box across from a Walmart. I was like, wow, I can get gas and then come over here.
Get gas and then connect with Aretha's soul.
It was amazing, because when we walked in there, you just feel like the spirits. I mean, Mick Jagger has been in there, Wilson Pickett, like,
the amount of amazing music that has come out of there.
I've been inspired since. I feel like I was touched by an angel in that room.
I mean, the amount of vibes that exist in that. I mean, things linger.
Yes, I felt it. I mean, I was there with my girlfriend, Chanel, and she was recording at the other East Side studios. And I just felt it. Like, it's something that I feel like every TikToker should probably feel. Is feel what the real roots are. Feel what it is, and then decide, am I really making music? And can AI create this? I don't think so.
The answer is no.
Absolutely not.
Everything is, some people are meant to connect with it, and some things are gateways.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Some things are gateways in the sense that you might discover, let's say you discover, like a couple of weeks ago, I played Time Will Tell by Bob Marley on my radio show.
Yeah.
And so I was talking to someone afterwards. They were like, oh, I didn't know that was a Bob Marley song. I thought that was a Black Crowes song.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah, yeah.
But that happens, and that can be, not that this, actually that was sort of a poor example, but sometimes you discover something that's a gateway to the depth of something. Right? Like
to the roots of something.
To the roots. And if you have the passion and the curiosity, then that really leads you somewhere. And if you have the curiosity and the substance, then you're going to rise.
Yeah.
Right?
Shall we always stay curious, right?
Always.
Shall we always be thinking of the next student? I heard somebody say this the other day. I went to church for the first time in 6 years, and it was the pastor, and he said, his sister said about older people, he said right around like 60, people just get grumpy. It's because they stop growing at some point.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you ever stop, like in her brain, it was, I never want to stop growing because I don't like who I'll become.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
True.
There are always opportunities to learn. And like, there's always, I want to know about this red cowhide in this room. Like, I want to know more about your necklace. I want to know more about everything. I'm so excited about my life. I don't see it Like I feel like I'm in another phase of my life, which is great.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the older we get, we get closer to, I think David Bowie said it. He's like, you become the person you were always meant to be.
I love it.
And it's so true if you're into the process and you're open-minded, because it's easy to get jaded and it's easy to feel like you know things and be cynical. Yeah. Which there's a percentage of that that's needed to survive. Right. But if that's where you go completely, then it's not even 60 years old and people get grumpy. It's 35.
Yeah, it's 35 and you're like, how are you jaded? I mean, you haven't even experienced enough of life to be here, but it does happen. And honestly, this goes back to your question about being Black women in spaces that weren't necessarily built for us. Yeah. I never go into a space feeling like that. I always feel like, oh, no, I belong here. Absolutely.
Because you do. Yeah. Because those are also social constructs. Right. Like at what point, culture is relevant and it's important, and our identities are relevant to us and how we contribute. But to be identified simply because of the pigment of your skin and that categorizes you, that's nonsense. Yeah. I mean, we can't seem to get over it, but it's a bunch of fucking nonsense.
It is nonsense. It doesn't even make any sense.
It doesn't make sense.
Because I don't have any control over it. I was born like this.
And again,
everybody was.
It's again, culture is important and identity is good, but don't judge people based on again, you don't know what people are going through. You don't know what they've gone through. You don't know who they are. Just,
all the things that make them a thing. You don't know all those things.
Golden rules, right? There's a few of them. Treat others as you would want to be treated, right? It's pretty simple.
It is.
It's very hard, apparently. Anyway.
I mean, it is. It's hard, but I think as long as we're growing and we're open.
Key.
It's very key. And I plan on, I live my life that way. My kids, they're just like, okay, you're going to be this old and decide you want to be a rock star. That's funny. But they also have supported me through, starting a tech company. They also lived with me in my car. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
My kids are made of the best stuff.
And that's because of you.
They are made of the best stuff because they just have seen the toughest of life and the best of life. I look at my granddaughter and my son is taking her to the zoo and we got her earphones so I can take her to ACL. I'm just having the best time with this kid. I take her to Marrero's on Sundays and we have brunch and eat cheese. I love this part of my life. It's so great.
But it's also, that part of life really is a testament to you, because as a parent, I am not a parent, so I don't know what that is truly like. But it really, it's because of you. Your lessons and your example are what help their foundation.
Marrero, stop it! You're gonna make me cry for real.
Well, you can cry all you want, but it's not gonna.
I'm still
it's
saying
not gonna change it.
I'm still saying it, Courtney. So whatever.
So that's all beautiful, and you should feel really good about that. And I'm glad. I'm glad we agree that getting older doesn't mean getting old.
No, it does not mean getting old. I'm not. I'm just not. I refuse. And it's. They say age is nothing but a number, or it's a state of mind, or whatever. I don't know if I'm with the cliches. I just know.
It's not negating the time passes and that we change.
Sure.
It's just, curiosity, right?
Right.
And openness.
And how well do you treat yourself on this side of, old, right?
Yeah.
The better you treat yourself, the better care you take of yourself, the longer you get to be here and do these amazing things. So,
not to mention, since the beginning of time, being an elder means you're a badass.
Right.
Means
you got here.
You've got experience and you've learned things.
Right.
This is such a youth-based culture a time that we're living in.
Right.
It's like, when you're 21, for the most part, you don't know shit.
Right.
And that's okay. Right. But don't come at me like you do.
Right, because you don't.
Or you can. I'm just going to do what I do. And just with the life experience that I have, I will treat you accordingly with the respect that you treat me with. Right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. In other cultures, we take care of our elders. We respect
100%.
them. We put them on the pedestal that they deserve.
Because they were the keepers of history.
That's right.
And knowledge and experience.
Not everything new is good, for sure.
No.
And I have this picture I took. I took this picture and the back of it was like this overlay, and it was all of these Black women's faces. I said, I feel like I experience a little bit of Black privilege of my own. Black privilege being I didn't experience what they experienced
Sure.
to get here.
Sure.
And there are things that I would never, that have not touched my life directly, that like my mom saw a cross burning on her yard.
Yeah.
My grandmother saw her brother hung from a tree in the front yard. I've never experienced that. And my granddaughter will never experience that. But we do need to keep and be mindful of how that does creep into our lives in different ways. It's
History can repeat itself, so it's important to be vigilant about those things.
We're seeing that right now.
100%.
So I'm just trying to keep it light and keep it where music is at the forefront of my life and keeping my family in that light as much as possible.
So before we leave,
Yes.
just to end on a lighter note,
Yeah.
what is an album
Mm-hmm.
that people would be surprised that you absolutely adore, not expected, like something in a genre that people would never think that you listen to, but
my
you
gosh.
just totally love?
That they wouldn't think that I
Yeah,
would
something like,
enjoy.
oh, Courtney Santana, she would never be listening to Slayer or something. You know, you probably wouldn't be, but that's just
wait.
it's just an example. Like, what's an album that you love that would really surprise people that you're into?
Oh my goodness. Oh, because I'm a Northeastern kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, because I was listening to it this morning and I love it when I'm driving. Bread.
What's bread?
I love Bread. I love that whole group, like Bread, Air Supply. Like Yacht
America,
Rock? Oh my-
America.
Yes, America, Boston. Like I know I'm like going across the full thing, but Boston. I freaking love all of that music because I
They're
was
great
raised with it.
songs.
They are great songs.
They're great songs. Some
But
of the
to look at
production
me-
leaves, a little cheese flavor here and there,
Oh.
but the songs are great.
Give me the cheese. I love the cheese. I love it. But yeah, no Bread. Oh my God, Nilsson.
Well, Nilsson's a whole other. I mean, that's a different category. I mean, bread is good and all, but
I mean, but I put them all together because I feel so that is my.
it is great
upbringing.
songwriting. It is great
Yeah.
songwriting.
And coming from the Northeast, like I listened to the radio and like you could hear hip hop and what because goes back to me being from Western Mass, right, close to New York. So I was hearing like 90s hip hop and like all of that, but I was also hearing like James Taylor and like. So I have such a varied, and I'm thankful and blessed for it because I've never thought of it as a race thing. I've always
Sure.
thought of music just being music. So I listen to everything, and subsequently my kids do too.
Well, yeah, there's just two kinds of music, country
Yes.
and Western, right?
Yeah, country and Western, absolutely.
Good and bad.
and terrible.
Good and bad, right?
Good and terrible. Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, Courtney, thank you so much for coming here today. It's
Oh,
always
thank you
great
for
to see
having
you.
me.
It's great
Yes.
chatting with you and hearing all these wonderful and complicated things.
Well, I'm simple. I'm a simple lady. No, but I don't
Complicated
think,
life circumstances, I guess that's what I
Yes.
meant.
Yes.
It can't, because it's like we said early in the beginning, it's not all wine and roses.
No,
Life is mostly not wine and roses.
but I love people by their scars, and I feel like, those are the things that they fortify us, right?
Yep.
They build us up and we learn so much from them if we embrace them.
Yep. They
And I
don't
show
define
mine.
us,
No,
but they build us.
they build us. And I feel like when I meet somebody that has gone through something, I want to know their story,
Sure.
because there's something there that they're combating or they're getting through,
Yeah, working through. Yeah.
living through it
Yeah.
all. See what I did
Nice
there?
plug.
You see what I
Through it
did?
all, like the name of my latest
Album?
album and upcoming tour.
That's right. That's what I wrote on Hardcharger Records
So
and
you've done
Blue
this
Line
before.
Records.
I see.
I don't know. It was a stroke of genius because that just came to me.
There you go.
I'm just saying, it's just
Boom.
being across from you, my friend.
There it is.
That's all it is.
Thank you so much.
Thank
It's great to see you.
It's great to
and
see you.
yeah.
Anytime.
All right.